Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Golden Ratio podcast. I am Jen, GR Mom, joined over distance by GR Dad.
Hi.
How's it going, GR Dad?
Pretty good.
I feel bad because we're on Zoom looking at each other, and I'm looking at your cute face, but I'm all squished up on the couch outside, and I'm like, you can't look at my face all squished up, so you just have to look
camera.
at my picture.
I tried to make it like squish my own face, but that doesn't really help you, so I accept your comfort zone. Your desire to feel good.
Someday my butt won't hurt, but today is not that day.
Ridiculous. Stupid butt.
So, I am in Florida. GR Dad is in Maryland.
Yeah.
And, let's do the cocktail of the week, which I need several of after the week it has been. So, for Christmas, my brother, who has figured me out, sends us alcohol. He sends us good stuff every year, a bunch of different things. And this year, he included a bottle of the Midwest and, frankly, Chicago classic spirit Malört. M-A-L-O with an umlaut, R-T. Malört.
Is it a classic?
Oh, it's a thing.
I thought it was like a trendy.
I
thought it was trendy now. Oh, it's an old-fashioned thing. Okay, interesting.
It's very, very bitter.
Yeah.
I would guess a large percentage of bottles of Malört that are given around are given as jokes, because you definitely wouldn't drink it straight. I mean, you drink Jägermeister straight.
I do. I will.
It's not as herbal as Jägermeister, but it's bitter like that.
Yeah.
And so we were supposed to get a new liquor cabinet, and they only delivered us half of it. And that's a whole other story. But we had to empty all the liquor out of the existing cabinet. And for the super followers and patrons, we did a tour of the liquor that took up basically like 3/4 of our dining room table.
It's a lot of liquor.
Yeah, a few people noticed the bottle of Malört on there. And they were like, oh my God, what are you going to do with that? And we were last week like tasting it. And I was like, I am positive I can make a delicious cocktail with this stuff. And so I did. Now, you named it, GR Dad. What did you call it? I don't remember.
I can't remember if I called it the malignant or the maleficent or something with a malware.
Well, you gotta pick. It has to go on the wiki.
We're calling it malware.
Malware. That's a great name.
Hey,
So,
I'm good. I'm very smart.
The malware cocktail, GR Mom invention, is 1.5 ounces of Gosling's black rum, the same thing you would use if you were making a Gosling's Dark and Stormy, the Black Seal rum.
Yeah,
so
it has a seal on it. It has a seal on it.
It does, yep.
Yeah.
1.5 ounces of lemon juice, 3/4 ounce of simple syrup, and 1/4 ounce of Malört. You will be like, 1/4 ounce, you're making it so you can't taste it. Oh, friends, I assure you that you can taste it. It's very powerful stuff.
Yeah, there's a German category of drink like this that's called Magenbitter, stomach bitter, which is you're supposed to like do it as a digestion aid after eating a fatty meal, which a lot of German meals are. So this one's kind of lower alcohol, but a lot of them have schnapps in them that's like 40% or 45%.
Is this not that high?
I don't know. I think of it as less, but maybe it is in the 40s. Yeah.
Malört. I guess people do shots of it.
Yeah, well,
It's 35% alcohol, so...
Okay. Yeah, that's in the range. But there's something called Bärwurz, which I think is from the Franconia region, and then there's Unterberg, which is a commonly sold thing, Unterberg. I remember the commercials for that. But anyway, so Magenbitter is a real thing, at least in Germany, probably in the rest of Europe too. So Malört may be the Danish, Swedish, I don't even know where it's from, equivalent of that.
Well, it turns out that there's a Wikipedia page for Malört. And it has a section titled Reputation. While Gabalic acknowledged that the drink is a niche liqueur selling a comparatively small number of cases annually, it's gained increased relevance among bartenders, bikers, and Chicago's Hispanic community, where Gabalick notes it has become a, quote, rite of passage. Oh, the satirist John Hodgman has also adopted the drink in his stage show, offering shots to his audience.
That's
John
good.
Hodgman said it tastes, quote, like pencil shavings and heartbreak.
And if your theory's right, there's like one bottle of Malört and it's given around every Christmas to different people.
Well, now there's 0 bottles because we've broken into ours.
Hey, I mean, after every Christmas we go, thank you, Jen's brother. That was delicious.
He sends us a lot of good liquor for Christmas.
Yeah.
And I think he thought I'd be like, what the hell is this thing? And I was like, oh no, I'm going to make good drinks with this. So the Malware, good name, dear dad, is this drink. It's delicious. Like the bitterness just adds a little bit of complexity to, a real tasty drink.
It's not bad. And I drink it as a shot. So
You do whatever makes you happy,
it's
my love.
interesting, like Vegemite. It's an interesting taste.
You won't win me over to the Vegemite either.
I'm not trying to win you over about anything. All the more for me.
All right, so that is the cocktail of the week. Administrative corner.
Yay.
I just want to send out a public thank you to a friend of the squad. So we got some packages at the P.O. box, and GR Dad loves few things more than retrieving packages at the P.O. box. Like, he's like, do we have any packages? I'm like, I don't think we have any packages. He's like, I'm going to check anyway, just to see if we have any.
And you get notifications. So not having a notification is a pretty good hint that there's nothing there.
Yep.
I still check.
Yes. So we got 2 packages last week, and one of them was from a friend of the squad and Patreon, Susan, and she sent us a bag of tortilla chips. And you might be like, why do we have administrative corner? And friends, is because they're the best tortilla chips I have ever eaten in my whole entire life. They were so good.
They're from New Orleans or around New Orleans, right?
No. It does have Nola in the name, but it's Hola Nola. And I believe Nola is like a name.
Oh.
Hola Nola is the brand. They're from Louisiana. They could be from New Orleans. But it's not. It's just like a capital N, Nola. Like not all caps, N-O-L-A.
Okay. It seems real technical to me.
Hola Nola. Hola Nola Creole tortilla chips, which you put in the microwave. And why would you put it in the microwave? Because it makes it even more delicious. She sent us this big, like, party-size bag. And between the 2 of us, we just stood there at the counter and ate the entire bag.
I'm not proud of that. But it was good.
I'm trying to find it because it's, like, very regional. And you can't order it off their website. And I found, like, some market through Mercado, which is like a grocery store shipping thing. And you had to have like a $30 minimum, but they're just like regularly priced tortilla chips. I'm like, fine, I'll buy 7 bags. And then it was like $14 shipping. And I was like, fine, send me more of them. And then the guy I haven't even told you this, the guy just called and he's like, we only have 1 bag on the shelf.
What?
So he had to cancel the order. So I'm going to have to book a speaking event. Oh, no, Ingo, you're going to New Orleans with your parents.
I am.
You are hereby instructed to find a grocery store and buy like 8 bags and put them in a box and ship them back to me.
Late March.
I need them.
Late March.
Oh, my God. Will I make it that long? I don't know. They are so good. So if you are in the kind of between the Florida Panhandle around into Texas, Louisiana area, they have them at your grocery store, and you should get some. And thanks to Susan for pointing them to us because they were mind-blowingly good.
Hola Nola.
Hola Nola Creole chips. They make a whole bunch of stuff. They've got lots of different kinds of chips, and they've got like some seasonings and some salsa. But I just want these Creole chips, so delish.
This is
All
good.
right.
I'll go to New Orleans to get some groceries for you.
Hey, you bring me groceries from everywhere, and I appreciate it. So, speaking of which, we are in different places right now, which
I'm not getting another dog. I am not getting another dog.
No, we have too many. We have too many right now.
Quell that rumor.
we decided this after the last podcast because we were like, yeah, we haven't been to the Maryland house for a little while. We should check on it. And Ingo's like, ooh, I should drive up there and check on it. And I was like, you know what a great time to do that would be? When the house is being fumigated. Like, take a couple dogs with you and get out of here. Because 6 dogs and 2 humans living in that RV for a couple days is going to be hard. And you did. And was that a great decision? Because me, one human with 4 dogs living in the RV, was almost unbearably frustrating for the 36 hours that it happened. So yeah, you kind of took off and you road tripped with the Mardi Gras crew, speaking of New Orleans, up to Maryland. Remoulade and Voodoo.
Voodoo and Remoulade, the spicy boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good to get out of the RV. I mean, they both take up some space, and I'm sure Remy would have been rambunctious
He would have
Remy.
been crawling all over everybody.
And they travel well. They were good. This time Remy barked a couple times during the drive. I think Voods just made grumbly noises. But Remy had some bark thing, probably when I used the rear wiper or something at some point. He's like, what's that? Yeah. No, it was an uneventful drive. Yeah, we stayed somewhere in South Carolina this time. Yeah.
Yeah, one of those Carolinas.
And it was.
Yeah, so now you're at the house.
Uneventful. Everyone was well behaved, and arrived safely. And now all they do is chomp on each other. Pretty much, one of them is always up for it, and the other one, not even reluctantly, goes along with it.
It's interesting. Not that we would break up a squad, but it's interesting how much happier those two are as a duo. I mean, they both have a good time here with everybody, but they really enjoy their lives a lot as like a pair of dogs without a guac jumping in all the time or whatever.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, because they both play so similarly, I think it is, right? Guac really is just so ball focused that he gets distracted and goes after a ball and stops chomping. But these two, that's what they love to do, is wrestle and chomp.
But they don't do it, like they could just do it with each other here, the same as they do there, but it doesn't work that way.
No, someone's always barking at him or driving in between him or pulling him away, because Remy likes to chase balls too, right? So when he hears a ball being thrown or worked on by Guac, he gets pulled away. Yeah, I blame Guac, not in a bad way.
Guac is definitely the dynamic.
He's a big distraction.
So you have like the 2 highest maintenance dogs, and I have a very mellow crew down here. So even though I have twice as many dogs, I feel like I have the same and maybe less work.
Which is good. As long as you feel that, then it seems like it's all working out.
Yep. So we had the fumigation. It started on Wednesday. It finished on Thursday. So they showed up Wednesday and put a big circus tent on the house, and then put deadly poison in the house and put signs all over the house that said deadly poison, do not enter. We had to move out all the food and medicine and drinks and everything out of the freezers and everything. I got a great workout. I called it a functional strength training workout on my Apple Watch because I'm like, if I'm carrying a 20-pound bag of groceries, I'm not sure why it's different than me carrying a 20-pound dumbbell up and down the stairs.
It's actually harder.
It is. It was. I would much rather have had a dumbbell. It was such a pain. But I got a great workout, bringing all the stuff out and eventually back in. And then, once they got here, we moved all the dogs into the RV. They were fine. It was extra hard because, like, the gas in the tent is poison, and the tent is where the house is. And they go, like, I live in the house, so maybe I should get in there. So I had to, basically have them leashed all the time. And this wasn't just like an abstract worry. Like, I know people whose pets, cats, have gotten back in and died when their houses were being fumigated. And Brody, like the Wednesday night, he's like, I'm going in the house. And I'm like, get back in the RV. He's like, no, the house. Was very insistent that he was going to go back in there.
That boy.
So he couldn't have just been left unattended. So fortunately, they came back Thursday morning and took the tent off. So we still couldn't go inside, but I didn't have to worry about the dogs dying. Like, they could walk under the house and, all of the out in the yard, which was fine. So Wednesday was tough because I had to, have them in the RV or on the leash the whole time. Thursday, was a little easier, except they took the tent off Thursday morning, and I was like, okay, are they going to let me back into the house Thursday night? Like, I really don't want to spend another night in the RV because dogs take up all the floor space. So if I wanted to, like, get out of the bed and, like, like, walk 2 steps, I had to, like, literally climb over everybody. They did not make it any easier for me. Hops was having some gastrointestinal issues.
Oh, Hops, you're so sensitive.
We've been switching her food because we think it may be a protein allergy. And so she got up at like 2 a.m. between Wednesday and Thursday and went out. And then I was trying to get her back in. I picked her up and I put her on the dog bed, and then she had poop on her butt. So I had poop on me. And so we had to do like a full like wash down of Hop's butt in the RV, and then a wash down of myself. And I got to chuck the towels outside because I can't keep them in the RV because it's very small. Anyone who romanticizes tiny houses and dogs should live in our RV for just like 12 hours with 4 dogs, because it was cramped in there.
But it's making me glad that I wasn't there to crowd things more, and these two knuckleheads
Remy
weren't
and
there
Boots
either.
would have just, I don't know, we would have had to find some other solution. I think we would have ended up with like a car. I had all the food and stuff in the car, and I think we would have had to take it out and put like Voods or Remy in there to sleep overnight.
Ugh.
They would have been tripping over everybody. There's absolutely no way. Like, you at least, if we could have, like, there's a bed above the cab part, like where the driver's and passenger seats are. So someone could sleep up there. So the humans could have gone up there, but the dogs still would have been all over each other, even with access to the bed.
There's just no floor space in there. I mean, it's all built up and efficient, but when the dogs decide to like try to all stretch out, they cover every inch of floor space.
Every inch. Yeah, for sure. It's good to know that, like, other than if we're going to stop and sleep briefly, it's not like we could take the squad on a cross-country road trip in that RV. There's no way.
We need a trailer, too.
It's fine for driving.
Didn't we see that once? There's an RV that tows a trailer that tows a Jeep.
Something like that.
That tows a boat trailer. It'd just be a freaking train. It's just a train. I've invented the train now.
Good job, Ingo.
Yeah, good.
So anyway, they did show back up at like 7 o'clock last night and tested the levels in the house, and the poison gas was all gone, so we got to come back in. And then I watched the Caps game and unloaded all of the groceries. And I mean, I was saying to Gio Dad, like, I think the most frustrating part is like all the like 50 bottles of little spices, right? Like, everyone has to be put back on its little shelf, and it was just all that. I was doing it half the day today too, just putting stuff back. So
ridiculous.
The most frustrating part of a move, right? Like, clothes, easy to move. Bedding, it's easy to move. You stick it all in like a big bag or a box. Like, furniture, somebody's just going to come pick that shit up and like move it out of your house. I mean, if you have to move yourself, like, heavy stuff sucks. But in terms of like packing to move, but like books and packing up the kitchen, just the most frustrating because there's like a zillion little things.
Fragile little things, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's done.
Yeah,
Thank goodness.
Two things you told me, since I wasn't there, but it's like they really lock up, they seal the house, the locks, right? You could not have gone back in the house even if you had like tried to sneak back in there.
No, they lock the house, and then they have this device that like goes over the knob or the handle and into the lock, like where you'd put the key. So it's a whole thing that like bolts on there. So you couldn't put a key in the lock if you wanted to, and you also can't turn the handle. It locks the whole thing down. They locked like the sliding glass doors and the elevator. So if I had managed to somehow climb up onto the porch, I still wouldn't have been able to get in the doors. I was reading the paperwork because they make you sign up on all this paperwork ahead of the fumigation. And there's like an FAQ section, And one of the items is, because they're like, you have to have the cabinets open and the access to the attic has to be open, all this stuff. So one of the FAQs is, do safes have to be opened? And they said, if the safe is large enough to hold a human body, we are required by law to check it. And I was like, that's because murder. That's because someone's like, I'm gonna kill Ingo, so I'm gonna lock him in my gun safe and then have the fumigation people come and poison gas him.
It's funny that you went there. That's a lot of murder casts. Is what
It
you're
says the
listening to.
size of a human body.
I think it's because kids hide in there or something. It could be
Bodied.
someone
It doesn't say.
hiding in there.
No, it's clearly for murder purposes.
Clearly.
Yeah, you're also supposed to move all the plants out of the house. We have a lot of plants. And so I moved a lot of the plants out, but there are some like trees, 7-foot tall trees. There's quite a number of 7-foot tall trees in the house. And I was like, I can't. Like, I've just been moving shit for like 2 days. The trees are just going to have to like fend for themselves. And fortunately, the trees seem to be fine. There are a couple smaller plants like planted next to the house that are dead. They're dead. But all the house plants I brought out and they survived. And I'm looking at the trees out here on the porch that I couldn't move out and they're okay.
It was sobering to see some of the the succulents that are all brown now. I mean, they're
dead.
Poisonous poison. It's not just like,
yeah,
it might be long-term detrimental. It's nasty stuff. Mm-hmm. Somewhat satisfying.
So, yeah. So that's that. It's all done. And then, so our neighbors next door, we had our hurricane windows put in a little over a year ago. It was January of 2021, which if you've been following that long, you remember because, man, was it a process.
Yeah, we were complaining for weeks.
Yeah, the neighbors next door, when we got it done, were like, hey, we need to get some hurricane windows put in. Do you recommend the people that did it for you? And I was like, oh, yeah, they were great. They were professional. Like, it took a long time, but they did a really good job. Very happy with them. And so our neighbors were like, okay, well, we'll use them. And, they probably had to wait a year just like we did. And meanwhile, I had talked to the same construction company because when they did our windows, they also redid our main bathroom. And we need both the bathrooms redone. So I was like, put us on the list as soon as you've got an opening. We need the other bathroom renovated. And they're like, okay. So that was last January. I literally bought the vanity last January, a year ago January. And it's been sitting in our downstairs enclosure for a year. And I would intermittently check in and, are we on the list? Yeah, you're on the list.
There's a mysterious list. There is some mysterious list that we were supposedly on.
We've had all this stuff for the bathroom renovation sitting in our little downstairs space for about a year. And when I checked in with them last month, they're like, actually, we're going to do your neighbor's windows. And when we do your neighbor's windows, then we'll just have 2 crews there. So we'll have one guy overseeing it and we'll do your house when we do their house. So as soon as their permits are all ready, we're going to start on your house. And Monday of this week, they started on the neighbor's house. And I was like, oh, they're going to be coming to our house pretty soon. And so yesterday when I was out in the yard, unable to go in the house, the head guy who runs the crews around here, who did our bathroom and our windows, walks over and he's like, hey. And I was like, well, hello, are you here to do my bathroom? And he's like, when can we start? And I was like, how about tomorrow morning? And he's like, oh, okay. And I was like, great. So literally we got back in the house at 7:00. And then as I'm bringing all the stuff back in, I realized I also have to empty all the stuff out of the bathroom. Not that there was that much, but I have to take down the mirror and the wall hangings and empty out the vanity, all the stuff out of there. And they showed up at 8 this morning and started demoing the bathroom. So there is no peace in the Golden Ratio household.
Demolitioning.
Yeah. I went in at lunchtime and there's no walls left.
See, that's satisfying. That's not the hard part. The hard part is putting it back together.
Thankfully, we don't have to do that part. So,
Smash. Yeah.
So that, you guys, it's going to be the most awesome bathroom you have ever seen in your entire life. Home and renovation talk can get boring, but the tile is going to be amazing. And then I called JR Dad today and I was like, look, we've had the vanity and the tile forever, but now I've got to buy like
Shower
the
head.
light in the medicine cabinet.
Started with a shower head.
Shower head. I was like, it has a tub now, which we're taking out. We're putting in just a shower, so it'll be easy to wash the dogs in there. And I found a shower head with like a really long like hose for the handhelds for the dogs. And then I'm like, okay, like just here's the light I picked out. Here's the medicine cabinet. And I was like, I just got this sort of basic faucet for the sink. And he's like, what about one of those faucets where it looks like the water's like coming out of like a
gutter
thing?
A rain gutter.
Yeah, a gutter. So I was like, okay, so those are called a waterfall faucet. And he's like, get one of those. And I was like, why the hell not? Like, this is a very whimsical bathroom we're putting together, very bold. Why not get a waterfall faucet? So I'm like, I'm on Amazon, like, all right, waterfall faucets. And I found one that has an LED, like a changing color LED.
No, I don't know why. I mean, nobody knows why.
Because it looks cool.
Water has to be colored lights.
Oh. I was reading the reviews on one of them. It's like, the light's not bright enough. Like, you can't see it if it's daylight. And I was like, why do you need your water to actually look like blue or red when it's coming out?
Wasn't the comment, I have to turn the light off to see the light?
I have turned the light off because the LED is not bright enough.
I have to wash my hands in the dark.
The good thing is I use that bathroom in the dark all the time. Like, when we get up with the dogs, I think both of us will use the guest bathroom because, we don't have to crawl over as many dogs.
Yeah, and I'm afraid if I turn the light on, like 3 dogs will decide it's snack time or something.
They 100% will. So anyway, it's going to be fun. We will be posting updates to the super followers and Patreon. So if you're that interested, it'll cost you $5 a month, and you'll get the ongoing tour. Every Monday we post about house projects featuring dogs for those super followers and the Patreons.
Yeah, dogs don't do much. They just kind of sit there.
They just wander around.
The background.
Anyway, that's DR project status. And then the dock is still virtual. They were supposed to show up today with more gravel for the yard, and they haven't yet, so who knows. And when are they going to put the dock part on? Meh. Hashtag mysteries.
When,
Someday.
when that guy's there, when that guy's available.
But today is not that day.
Yeah, that's all right.
Okay, so that's the RV/road trip/fumigation/construction update. So because they're working on the bathroom today, so it's the guest bathroom. So the way that we're staying out of the way is that...
Oh, this leads into dog updates, right? I know
yes,
you're
this
updating first.
Going
okay,
to
go
dog
ahead.
updates.
Yes.
So we're out on the porch, and then there's you guys usually see the sliding doors from like the main part of the house onto the porch, but we also have doors onto the porch from the bedroom, from our bedroom. And so I've got that open so the dogs can be out here on the porch with me. It's lovely today. It's like 80 and not too humid. It's great. But they can also go inside and lay on the bed, and there's a bathroom on our bedroom. So like I've got a whole little suite of rooms to hang out in. Dogs can hang out in them. It's fine. And then I've got the bedroom door closed that goes into the rest of the house. So the dogs are confined into this quite big space. So I got the dogs all settled. They start working on the demo in the bathroom. And I was like, all right, I got to, bring the last of the stuff up from the RV and put it away. So I'm going in and out of the house, like bringing stuff up and down. And I notice every time I open the front door, like there's a little bit of air suction, and I could hear the bedroom door kind of just jiggle a little bit in its frame, which is fine, as a thing that does. And after like the 5th trip, I come in and I notice that the bedroom door is open about 3 inches. It doesn't latch right. It is a project to be done. But I had a door stop like wedged under it from the inside, but clearly not tight enough. And so it's open about 3 inches, which only became an issue because then I see CB's Snoop poke out, and he's gnawing on the door.
Oh.
He's like, why am I in here? And he's gnawing on it, which is a thing he does. Like, if we put him behind a baby gate, he gnaws on the bars. He clearly, in his past life, was locked up a lot and developed the habit of trying to chew his way out. And I'm guessing must have successfully chewed his way out before.
Oh, CB.
He just goes right to it. It's not like he was panicked or barking. He's just like, I want out, and starts chewing on the door.
God.
So fortunately, I caught him before there were too many tooth marks.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
But also, what are you doing, CB? You got a good life.
know.
This is not a desperate situation. It was like 20 minutes. It was 20 minutes.
Man, and like I was like visible. I don't know. Anyway, so that's Brody. Remy has an appointment at the ophthalmologist next week
in Miami. In Miami.
So we've kind of got his blood sugar as good as we're gonna get it. So on Monday he's getting a fructosamine test, which kind of gives you it's sort of like a 2-week average of the blood sugar, basically, which he'll need to get his surgery. And then our vet here in the Keys has been talking to the ophthalmologist, and they're like, well, we haven't seen him for a while, bring him back in for a recheck. But we're kind of starting back onto the path towards getting him his surgery, like in a more official, like it's coming way. So,
man.
Yeah. So, he still needs a lot of blood work and tests, and they got to check everything out, but it's maybe going to happen like in the next couple months. Yeah,
him seeing would be pretty amazing. Even if it's only on one eye. Yeah.
It's going to be a miracle. So that's that. So there will be very interesting updates next week on Remy's eyes.
There's very interesting updates every week, Jen. It's so interesting.
I know, but on the eyes in particular.
All right.
Another dog update from this week. So Guac was acting like super weird around Vink on probably Monday.
Yeah, like very interested in Vink for some weird reason.
Like at one point, Vink was like sitting next to the couch, and Guac was sitting on the ottoman, looking at Vink and crying. Really weird.
Yep.
Chasing her around, poking his nose on her, and he never does this, right? I mean, they'll play, but he was clearly so agitated. And so I get Vink, and I was like, all right, like let's give you a bath, like, because I'm like, maybe she's got something on her that like we can't smell, but he's smelling, that's driving him crazy. So I take her downstairs.
Dead fish.
Like, yeah, something like that, right? Huh. I take her downstairs to give her a bath, and then I'm doing her head, and one of her ears is just ragingly infected, which must have come up overnight, because this must have been Monday. I had checked all their ears on Saturday, clean them out, do whatever. Everybody's ears were fine on Saturday, and by Monday, the thing is just like a red monster. So and she gets that. She gets these flare-ups just kind of overnight sometimes.
Hops does too. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm like, all right, it looks so sore, the poor girl. So I, get all the medicine, like clean it up, put the wash in, let it dry, put the drops in. And I'm doing that. And then on Wednesday, or maybe Tuesday, you had left.
Tuesday, yeah.
I went back in to give her the drops for the day, and it looks all kind of bloody, like pinkish and crusty. And so let me just go back. We had also noticed she'd been licking her paws like overnight, and we checked her paws to see if they were infected or had a problem, and there was nothing. So Tuesday, I go back to put the drops in her ear, and it looks all gross and sticky because she has apparently scratched it when we didn't see and created this giant hot spot right in front of her ear. And so it's all like oozing and goopy and gross. And so I think she was licking her paws because she's like licking all of that grossness off of her paws. Ugh. So I had to shave like her face next to her ear. And then we've got this powder, which we've talked about before. So it kind of squirts on powder.
Magic powder.
It's amazing. It's really good for hot spots. But for like the first 2 days, it would just turn into a paste because the hot spot was so like gross and sticky. Finally, she's much better now. So the ear looks a lot better. The hot spot has kind of crusted over. So it's like scabby, but it's fine. But she had 2 days where it was just...
The hot spot. The word hot spot is such a euphemism. I mean, it sounds so harmless. Oh, it's a hot spot. It's a real mess.
It's gross.
It's real.
So anyway,
real bad.
Guac clearly saw this all coming and could smell the, infection or stickiness or whatever it was making him crazy. He's all better now too. He's leaving her alone. They're playing like normal.
Guaco man, he's going for runs with you now.
He's sort of making me run. We had some friends over last week. We had like 5 people over, and we made a ton of margaritas. And I mean, I had 2 margaritas. Like I was fine, right? But like we were having French fries and margaritas. So everybody leaves, and I was like, all right, well, I'm not going for a run after 2 margaritas, but I'll take Guac for a walk. And Guac's like, we run now. And so we did. So I ran 1.5 miles in like my regular clothes, slightly tipsy, at like 10 p.m. It was fine.
No regrets.
No. You have anything you want to add to all those dog updates? That was a lot. Our dog updates have been brief, but not this week.
Yeah, I mean, nothing except what people see on the snaps, right? Voods is alternately excited and exhausted here. I mean, he runs around with Remy and does some Vood gallops and chomps on some sticks and rolls around, and then he kind of comes inside and just collapses for 3 more hours, which I don't film, although it's tempting just to, 3 hours of him sleeping. And then he just goes back out and he's super excited again. So, I mean, he's having a good time. Voods is, he is as voodly as he is. Oh, he also, I mean, I hide the toilet paper. He hasn't eaten a sweatshirt today. But he's always wandering around looking for stuff to nibble, to grab. Bored Voods is a dangerous Voods.
Well, I mean, he did eat that toilet paper in the hotel.
Yes, I did find him. He had taken an unopened, wrapped in paper toilet paper roll off the shelf and didn't eat it in the bathroom where I would have seen him. He took it in to behind the beds in the hotel room to try to eat it in peace. He's a sneaky guy. I definitely think he planned that, where he knew this would be taken away from him unless he hid it, and so he went and hid it and started trying to eat it. He didn't get much of it. I was paying too much attention.
So let's see. That's dog updates. Who do we think we haven't talked about this on the podcast because we normally record midweek, but we put it off till the end of the week because I was so tired. Last night, like Wednesday, I was like, I'm not podcasting from the RV. And last night, GR Dad's like, when are we going to podcast? I'm like, tomorrow, GR Dad. We are podcasting tomorrow.
I'm sure you were in an ocean of spice jars and glassware and whatever was
been a lot.
being moved. Yeah.
So anyway, low maintenance dog of the week. Your dogs are both high maintenance.
Somewhat. I mean, I think Remy's pretty under. I mean, he's active, but he's not a pain, right? And he kind of does his thing and doesn't require a lot of follow-up. I'm not too worried about Remy. He doesn't fall down the stairs like Voods. He doesn't fall up the stairs like Voods. He kind of does his thing. So I'd nominate Remy for low maintenance.
I don't think he's won it before. There's a table on the wiki. Let's see if I can find it. Awards. There's a table, so it has every week which dog won the award, but then it also has a table with dogs and who has won each of the awards.
When did he swim away? Was that early this week? Because that would disqualify him. Or was that last week?
Oh.
Was it over the weekend?
That's a good question. When did Remy decide to swim to Cuba?
That could have been Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah. Let's see. I've got it on the Instagram because I posted a picture of him. All right. 6 days ago.
Oh.
No, so that would have gone into last week's. So that's okay.
Okay, so he's in the clear. He's in the clear. So
he's in the clear.
He may be low maintenance.
Yes. Chief Brody and Remoulade, neither of them have won low maintenance, which is interesting because we kind of came up with the idea of low maintenance dog of the week because Brody was so good at a certain period and we just hadn't started giving out the award yet.
If he keeps chewing on doors and eating our pineapple plants and flopping down in the midst of our, vegetable beds, no go.
All right, well, Remy, low maintenance dog of the week.
There you go.
Good. For first place dog, I don't think Voods can have it. I would maybe say Guac has been pretty good. He's been doing a good job here. He's been a nice pal for me. Good bed snuggler.
It's been more than 0 days since an escape attempt, I guess.
He hasn't tried to escape at all this week. He's been quite responsive to me.
Well, that's pretty good.
All right, so Remy for low maintenance dog of the week and Guac for first place dog.
All right.
Awesome.
I look forward to the audience, the very close voting.
People's choice?
As it has turned out for People's Choice. Those are always close.
I know, they really are.
We'll need like a second ballot or something, a tie break.
I'm looking at the table now. Every dog has won the People's Choice Award twice.
Really? That's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's quite even. In terms of total number of awards, the medal leaders just coming off the Olympics, Hopper is in first place. She has 10 total awards.
As it should be. As it should be.
Vink has 8. Guac has 7.
How does Vink have second? Vink is like sneaking in under the radar.
Vink has won Low Maintenance Dog of the Week 4 times.
Just by sleeping a lot. The pure laziness gets her low maintenance.
She's pretty low maintenance, actually.
I mean, she's my baby, but still. Vink, come on.
Vink. So Hopper, Vink, Guac has 7, Voodoo has 6, Brody has 5, and Remy has 3.
Well,
but now 4, because he's getting Low Maintenance Dog of the Week this week.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Good job, Rem. Okay.
I'll tell him. I'll make sure to tell him. He's sleeping right now.
Good.
Yeah.
Do you want to do German Word of the Week, or you want me to do Taste of the Keys?
Do taste.
Okay. Taste of the Keys. A TikTok user documented a horrific experience. I think it's a little hyperbole. While in the waters off Dry Tortugas National Park late last month. So Dry Tortugas, if you the road ends in Key West, but if you were to just keep going another 90 miles, you'd end up at Dry Tortugas. It is the country's most remote national park, and it's very beautiful. We've been there.
Yeah.
You can take a boat and go all day, or you can take a seaplane and land on the water and go for half a day, which is what we did. Okay, so waters off Dry Tortugas National Park. In a series of videos, Heather West explains how she was attacked by a shark.
She was snorkeling.
The Texas woman who travels the country's parks said she and a group were heading to Loggerhead Key to snorkel on Little Africa Reef. Choppy conditions make them turn back to land. On the way back is when the frightening encounter occurred. Hang on, I'm gonna let this helicopter pass over. This is the Life Flight Medevac helicopter.
Oh yeah, I can't hear
coming
it, but
back in. I'll edit it out. I think it's going to be loud on the recording. Going to the hospital to pick somebody up. Okay. Choppy conditions made them turn back to land. On the way back is when the frightening encounter occurred. Since I was last in line, everyone else was out of the water by the time the attack happened, she said. I had this really bad vibe, and something in me said, "Get out. Not fast enough." The shark, which she believes was a lemon, came at her. And I just want to say, I think she means it's a lemon shark as opposed to a lemon like Vink. I got a puppy, but she was a real lemon. She had all these broken things.
When life gives you lemons.
They chomp you on the foot.
Now.
The shark, which she believes was a lemon, came at her. At first, she thought it was one of her friends playing with her. But after the second pull, I knew exactly what was happening. I turned on my back to see this huge beast with my foot in its mouth. West, wearing flippers, said she could feel the fish's teeth digging into her ankle. She began to kick. When the shark refused to budge, West proceeded to punch it in the face as hard as she could for about 30 seconds, which did the trick, and it let go.
Flurry of fists.
West's friends got her out of the water, where medics wrapped her bloody foot in what appears to be a painful procedure. She was seaplaned to Key West for medical treatment. West's, quote, gimpy foot, thankfully, was saved. The tendon's repaired with 20 stitches. But in another video, she says she's still on the mend and can't drive and is having problems with her insurance company paying for the bills. Nice American ending there.
It is, isn't it? They're like, well, shark attacks were excluded. Sorry.
When we first read this story last week, I was like, it's kind of like if you're going to get attacked by a shark, this is kind of the ideal way that it happens, where like you get a bunch of stitches, but you're going to be fine, right? It's not like you lost any parts.
Yeah, everything's attached still. Yeah.
Slightly inconvenienced and kind of uncomfortable. But then for the rest of your life, you get to be like in flip-flops and be like, see that scar? That's where I was attacked by a shark.
Did I mention I punched him in the head?
And I got away because I punched it in the face.
For about 30 seconds.
Punch it in the face.
For about 30 seconds. Punch.
Yep. So anyway, there you go. That's a good taste of the keys.
And it does come with photos of the ankle, and it's bloody, but it's not like detached or anything. It just looks like a deep scratch.
You don't repair tendons with stitches, so this is a poorly written article. This is not our friend Gwen Filosa of the Miami Herald. This is like a social media summary
This is someone
article.
who read a tweet. Yeah, no, that's right.
Yeah, they're like, I saw this TikTok video and I'm a journalist.
TikTok,
So-
not even a tweet. That's right.
Yeah. So there you go. That's Taste of the Keys. What's the
Good.
German word of the week?
It's apropos of nothing. I mean, this doesn't relate to sharks or snorkeling or lemons or anything of that stuff. But it's something you and I were talking about the other day. In Germany, you don't say car. You typically say PKW, which is PKW. And the this is an abbreviation for Personenkraftwagen. And the counterpart to that is LKW, which is Lastkraftwagen. And it's a way of saying car and truck. But so it's PKW and LKW, but it's a very old sort of bureaucratic German way of describing a car. Personenkraftwagen. Kraftwagen means powered wagon, and it's for persons. And then LKW is Kraftwagen, powered wagon, for Lasten, which is for loads. So it's a load-carrying vehicle versus a person-carrying vehicle. But you'll
Which
see
is
it on...
funny because you do say auto.
You say auto, but it's not specific enough for the bureaucrats. But a lot of the signs
your
will
mom.
say... That's true. She was talking about we're renting a PKW, we're renting our PKW here and whatever. So she does use it. But all the signs have it too, where it's, it'll say only PKW or, LKWs only over 3.5 tons. So you kind of have to know it. It's still commonly used. It's just a very old-fashioned sort of word, that they made up to describe these newfangled contraptions, I'm sure. In the 1890s, 1900s.
Yeah, Dad was reading me an email from his mom, and I was like, what the hell is PKW? And he told me, I was like, that must be the German word of the week.
Yeah, so it's good to know they're renting a car and not a truck. That was good. If they just said auto, who knows?
What could it possibly be?
Automobile just means self-driving, driving by itself without being pushed. So who knows?
That would be really confusing and ambiguous.
Not precise enough.
All right. You got anything else you want to add before we...
No, it's spring is coming in Maryland, in the middle North Atlantic.
Why do you always add boring stuff?
This is exciting. There's seasons up here.
There's literally seasons for everybody who's following us except for like the 3 other people in Florida.
Well, for me, it's exciting.
All right. I'm always like, Ingo, that's boring. And then everyone's like, let the man speak. So please tell us about springtime. Explain what it is for those of us who don't know.
If you allow me to say it, then nobody jumps in to protect me. You have to attack me to make it interesting. So thank you.
Well,
thank you.
Done.
You're boosting me. Excellent. No, I got nothing else.
Okay. Well, Dear Dad will be home this weekend with Woods and Remy, so the squad will be reunited to endure the rest of the bathroom renovation together.
They'll be happy to be back too, I'm sure. And Boots will chomp all comers.
Hug the pinto bean for me.
It's a pinto bean.
Oh.
Is that Vink?
Vink says it's time to be done podcasting.
Vink, quit being so impatient.
And until next week, don't bite anyone unless they ask you to.
Yeah, don't bite anyone unless they ask you to.
Goodbye.
Bye.